30 miles northeast of Mexico City, a silent city rises from the valley floor. Pyramids, temples, streets that once held 200,000 souls. The Aztecs found it in ruins 700 years after abandonment and called it Teotihuacan, place where gods were born. But who built it? What language did they speak? Why did they torch the city core in 550 CE and walk away? Even after a century of digging, we're missing the basics. No royal tomb, no faces of kings, just mysteries stacked on mysteries. 12 things about Teotihuacan that scientists still can't explain. Let's go. Colleagues lower him down, 20 feet, darkness. Then his feet hit stone, a perfectly cylindrical shaft carved 2,000 years ago. He's standing in a sealed tunnel that runs 330 feet straight to the pyramid's heart. The Mexican National Institute of Anthropology and History launches excavation. Gomez gets approval, erects a tent over the sinkhole. Can't have tourists seeing this. Hundreds of thousands visit yearly. He arranges for ground-penetrating radar delivery, lawnmower-sized device, high-resolution scanning. Early 2004, his team starts mapping. 20 archaeologists and workers scan Earth under the Ciudadela, every afternoon uploading results to computers. By 2005, the digital map is complete. The tunnel runs approximately 330 feet from the Ciudadela to the center of the Temple of the Plumed Serpent. The sinkhole wasn't the actual entrance. That lay a few yards back, intentionally sealed with large boulders nearly 2,000 years ago. Tlaloc I, named for Aztec rain deity, whose image appears throughout Teotihuacan. Then Tlaloc II, equipped with infrared and laser scanners. Like mechanical moles, the robots chew through soil, camera lights aglow. Hard drives full of spectacular footage. They map 3 chambers at tunnel's end, sealed for 1,800 years. Cross-shaped chamber piled high with jewelry, several statues. 2014, November. The robots push deeper. Final chamber. They find jade statues, 4 greenstone figurines wearing garments and beads, eyes that would have shone with precious minerals. 2 still in original positions, leaning back, apparently contemplating up at axis where 3 planes of the universe meet. Probably founding shamans of Teotihuacan, guiding pilgrims to sanctuary, carrying bundles of sacred objects, pendants, pyrite mirrors perceived as portals to other realms. Jaguar bones, large spiral seashells, cat bones, pottery, fragments of human skin, wooden masks covered with inlaid rock jade and quartz, elaborate necklaces, rings, greenstone crocodile teeth, human figurines, crystals shaped into eyes, beetle wings arranged in box, sculptures of jaguars, and pools, liquid mercury, large quantities. Rosemary Joyce at University of California, Berkeley, explains Mesoamericans created liquid mercury by heating cinnabar ore, mercury sulfide, 674 degrees Fahrenheit. Mercury's boiling point, collect the vapors, condense them. Extremely hazardous process. They used mercury to decorate jade objects, color the bodies of royalty, but never in these amounts. George Cowgill at Arizona State University tells researchers in a statement to Liquid Mercury Found Beneath Teotihuacan Temple, published by ASU News, this is the first time mercury appears in Teotihuacan in large quantities. Only 3 other Mesoamerican sites have traces. 2 Maya, 1 Olmec, nothing like this concentration. The substance had no known practical use for ancient civilizations. Rather, because of mercury's shimmering reflective qualities, it may have served symbolic purpose, representing an underworld river or lake. The mercury came from cinnabar. That means extraction. Industrial scale chemistry, heating ore to boiling point, vapor collection in dangerous conditions, condensation, then transport of extremely toxic liquid into sealed chambers 17 meters below ground. Approximately 55 feet beneath the pyramid's center, a miniature mountainous landscape was created to hold objects. Rubber ball used in Mesoamerican ball game representing the sun. Pools of liquid mercury in tiny valleys represented lakes. Many ritual objects were made reflective using mica or other materials according to Annabeth Hedrick, Mesoamerican Cultures, specialist at University of Denver in April 2025. A river of mercury under the city's 3rd largest pyramid. Shimmering, toxic, untouched for 2 millennia. Workers now require protective gear against mercury exposure. The excavation continues. 3 distinct buried subchambers located below resting place of the figurines. Final sections unexplored as of 2016 Smithsonian report. Gomez and team working literally with toothbrushes to not damage what lies beneath. Published in Science in March 2015. Physics Today journal confirms liquid mercury discovery, October 2025. The Guardian covers finding September 2017. Archaeology magazine confirms June 2024. Ancient Origins publishes detailed analysis. Newsweek reports March 2016. Multiple peer-reviewed sources. No royal tomb found yet. The mercury remains, waiting. The only comparable find, mausoleum of first Qin emperor in China. High mercury levels in soil samples from that tumulus. Rumors of flowing mercury rivers in Chinese emperor's tomb. never excavated to confirm. But soil testing shows significant amounts present. Now, Teotihuacan joins that exclusive list. Large-scale mercury deposits in ancient structures. Purpose unknown. The substance waits in darkness, reflecting nothing. Also, this script is researched and factual using sources from the National Institute of Anthropology and History of Mexico, published through their excavation reports from 2003 to 2024, peer-reviewed journals, including Current Anthropology from the University of Chicago Press, published in October 2025, and field reports from the Plaza of the Columns Complex Research Project, led by UC Riverside, published in UCR Magazine Winter 2024 issue. These are the actual excavation teams on the ground. Now back to the information. 6 inches total of stone mica stone sandwich construction. 2 layers of stone with mica inserted between. 2 massive sheets measure 9 square meters each. That's over 96 square feet per sheet. Analysis begins immediately. Send samples to labs. Chemical composition testing. Geographic sourcing analysis. Results come back. The mica didn't come from Mexico. It didn't come from anywhere close. Trace mineral content points to only one source. Brazil, specifically regions in southeastern Brazil, 2,200 miles south, over 3,500 kilometers by modern measurement. Sudden temperature changes, both heat and cold, resistant to organic acids. The Viking Foundation documents the find. Publishes preliminary reports. Subsequent excavations reveal this isn't isolated discovery. More mica appears throughout Teotihuacan, lining tunnel walls beneath the feathered serpent pyramid, layers between pyramid construction stages, inserted deliberately during building, not decorative placement, functional positioning, between structural components, in chambers that were then sealed. This material has extraordinarily specific properties. Modern applications include nuclear technology, shielding against radiation, electronics manufacturing, insulation for high voltage applications. Space programs use it extensively. Chemical processing plants require it. Heat shielding, electrical isolation. These aren't primitive materials. These are engineering grade specifications. Either route presents staggering logistical challenges. We're talking about pre-Columbian Americas. No wheeled vehicles, no pack animals larger than dogs in central Mexico, no metal tools for most of construction period, yet they moved sheets of mica weighing hundreds of pounds across continental distances. The Vikings didn't reach Americas until around 1000 CE. Columbus arrives 1492. Teotihuacan peaks between 100 and 600 CE. So indigenous trade networks accomplished this, established routes, multi-leg journeys, trading post to trading post, resources passing through multiple hands. But purpose? That's where mystery deepens. Sacred. Used for tools, weapons, ritual objects. Processing obsidian generates heat. Maybe mica-lined chambers protected surrounding structures. Others point to electrical properties. Impossible, they say. Ancient cultures didn't understand electricity, but did they observe static discharge, lightning, natural electrical phenomena? Could they have discovered empirically what we explain scientifically? Storage chambers for sensitive materials. What materials require electrical insulation in ritual context? We don't know. Protection against external heat offers partial explanation. But then why Brazilian mica specifically? Analysis by Isotech. Belgium specialists confirms in their published material the composition matches only Brazilian sources. Local Mexican mica exists. Different mineral content, less pure. The Teotihuacanos went specifically for this particular grade, like specifying exact steel alloy for modern construction. The mica was intentionally placed, decision made at planning stage, transported across vast distances at enormous cost, labor, resources, time, installed with precision between pyramid layers. Then the rooms were sealed, covered, hidden, not meant for public view. This was internal infrastructure, engineering decision, not religious display. Materials held profound ritual significance, mirrors into the supernatural realm. But mica isn't just reflective, it's functionally specific. You can find reflective materials locally: polished obsidian, pyrite, water. Why import mica from Brazil unless its other properties mattered? Engineering grade insulation in a city built between 100 BCE and 650 CE. No other archaeological site in the Americas shows mica use on this scale. No contemporary cultures demonstrate similar import of specialized materials across these distances. The chambers remain, documented, photographed, measured. The mica sheets survive, chemical analysis complete, sourcing confirmed. The purpose? Still a mystery. Ancient Origins publishes detailed examination, noting builders had remarkable knowledge of science and engineering. The mica represents technological sophistication we're still trying to understand 2,000 years later. Laser mapping technology, three-dimensional visualization capability. The feed comes back to surface, monitor screens light up, yellow spheres, hundreds of them, scattered, 4 to 12 centimeters across, approximately 1.5 to 5 inches diameter. different sizes, lying across chamber floors like somewhat scattered marbles, clay cores. Analysis reveals construction technique, form clay base, cover entirely in pyrite, fool's gold, metallic yellow mineral, iron sulfide. Over centuries, the pyrite oxidized, chemical process, converted to jarosite, amber yellow mineral crust. In their original state 1800 years ago, these spheres shone brilliant metallic gold. Under torchlight, under whatever illumination the Teotihuacanos used, they would have glittered, blazed, reflected light in all directions. Deliberately dusted with mineral powder. 3 components: pyrite, magnetite, hematite. This isn't decorative choice. These minerals have specific properties, create special brightness. The entire chamber would have glowed, soft golden light even in darkness. Pyrite has mild reflective phosphorescence, not strong, but in completely dark enclosed space, enough. The walls would have seemed alive, shimmering, the spheres catching and multiplying whatever light existed. Jorge Zavala at Mexico's National Anthropology and History Institute tells Discovery News in April 2013, "This is unprecedented discovery. We don't know their meaning." Jorge Zavala, archaeologist on the dig, says they look like yellow spheres, but we do not know their meaning. Unprecedented. That word keeps appearing. George Cowgill confirms pyrite was certainly used by Teotihuacanos and other ancient Mesoamerican societies. Originally, these spheres would have shone brilliantly. They are indeed unique. But I have no idea what they mean. That's from George Cowgill, Professor Emeritus at Arizona State University, author of several publications on Teotihuacan. Expert in the field, admits bafflement. Thick walls, massive stone barriers, erected to block access, then demolished around 1,800 years ago. Why demolish your own walls? To deposit something very important. In the final chamber at tunnel's end, most secure location possible. Then seal everything again. High-ranking people, priests, maybe rulers, went down into darkness, descended through the shaft, walked through tunnels, entered chambers, performed rituals by glowing golden light. The walls dusted with mineral powder gave supernatural brightness according to excavation reports published through INA. Pottery found nearby, ceramic beakers, vessels, wooden masks, not simple masks, covered in crystal, jade, quartz, luxury materials, high-value objects. This wasn't storage, this wasn't waste disposal. This was ceremony, sacred space, ritual theater. But what ceremony requires hundreds of pyrite spheres arrayed in underground chambers beneath pyramid? Survived for centuries until oxidation. They range from 40 to 130 millimeters according to detailed measurements. Standardized sizes suggesting intentional manufacture, not random, not accidental, purpose-built objects for purpose unknown. The distribution pattern matters too, found in both north and south chambers. Hundreds in south chamber specifically. Arranged how? Scattered randomly? Or placed in patterns, now destroyed by time. The robots mapped positions. Data analyzed. No clear geometric arrangement detected. But absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. Soil shifts over 1,800 years. Chamber ceilings deteriorate. Material falls. Original placement may be obscured. Temple blocking tunnel entrance, according to reports. Jade, stone, shell, pottery, ceramic beakers. Why seal it all? Why not take the valuables? Unless the tunnel itself was what mattered. The space, the chamber, the ritual location, objects were offering, payment, insurance that nobody would disturb what lay deeper. The spheres remain catalogued, published in HuffPost, May 2013. Archaeology, Wiki, May 2013, under article Solving the Golden Ball Mystery. NBC News, April 2013. Gizmodo, April 2013. Yahoo News, May 2013. Multiple mainstream sources. Peer-reviewed archaeological publications. Discovery News coverage, National Geographic mentions. The find is confirmed, documented, photographed, 3D scanned. The mystery, purpose, function, meaning. Scientists still can't explain what they're for. Golden spheres that once blazed with reflected light, now dull amber, waiting in chambers beneath the feathered serpent for someone to understand. The Maya plastered their kings' faces everywhere, named them in glyphs, buried them in spectacular tombs. The Aztecs built palaces, recorded dynasties. The Zapotec, the Olmec, all left evidence of rulers. Teotihuacan? Nothing. The city housed 100,000 people at peak, up to 200,000 by some estimates published in Wikipedia December 2025. Massive pyramids, Avenue of the Dead, controlled obsidian trade across Mesoamerica, influenced Maya cities 600 miles south. Someone organized the labor, planned the grid, managed resources. But we have no names, no faces, no burial sites. Linda Manzanilla at National Autonomous University of Mexico proposes 4 ruling houses. Co-governance. Mexican Game of Thrones, she tells visitors, but without the throne. David Carballo at Boston University points out most Teotihuacan art focuses on clothing and office rather than individuals. Repeated images of birds of prey with atlatls span centuries, too long for one person. Maybe the glyph represents an office, a military role multiple people held, not a single king. The tunnel under the feathered serpent was supposed to solve this. Gomez and colleagues hoped for a royal tomb, the Mercury, the spheres, the jade. All suggest someone important. But 12 years into excavation, reported in Smithsonian Magazine, May 2016, no human remains of rulers emerged. 3 chambers still unexcavated beneath the final section. Maybe they hold answers. Or maybe Teotihuacan genuinely governed without individual rulers. A corporate, multi-ethnic system, as Manzanilla describes. The mystery divides scholars down a fault line. Those who believe only a powerful king could build this, and those who argue the evidence points to collective leadership. Both camps waiting for proof. Magnus Farrow Hansen and Christopher Helmke at University of Copenhagen publish in Current Anthropology. They've deciphered the script. The language is Proto-Caracol Nahua, early Uto-Aztecan, ancestral to Nahuatl spoken by Aztecs, also Cora and Huichol still spoken today. The system uses logograms and rebus principles. Some symbols are direct. A coyote means coyote. Others work as sound puzzles. The image provides phonetic value to build different words. Double spelling, they call it. This required intimate knowledge of both writing conventions and spoken language. Hansen tells ZME Science in October 2025, nobody before used a language fitting the time period to decipher this. Nobody proved certain logograms had phonetic value in contexts beyond main meaning. They reconstructed ancient Uto-Aztecan forms to match the time period. Otherwise, it's like deciphering Danish runes using modern Danish. Anachronistic. The implications shake Mesoamerican studies. Traditional narrative says Nahuatl speakers migrated to central Mexico after Teotihuacan collapsed around 600 CE. But if the writing records Proto-Nahuatl, then Uto-Aztecan speakers were there from the beginning. The Aztecs weren't foreign arrivals inheriting abandoned landscape. They were direct descendants. Helmke tells Discover magazine, October 2025, if we're right, this solves the mystery of who built Teotihuacan. It fundamentally alters our understanding. The decipherment remains preliminary. More texts needed. Same signs in more contexts would strengthen the hypothesis. But the method is sound. Historical linguistics combined with epigraphic analysis. The city's murals aren't just art. They're messages. 1,500 years silent, now beginning to speak. Faces scratched off murals until unrecognizable. This wasn't random destruction. Nawa Sugiyama at UC Riverside excavates the plaza of the columns summer 2023. She finds charred walls, carbonized matter, evidence of great fire. Published UCR magazine Winter 2024. What caused it? War, arson, internal uprising? The population dropped 70 to 80% according to previous research, cited by Andrew Somerville at Iowa State University. But one neighborhood called Hacienda Metepec grew from 800 to 1,500 people right after collapse. Who were they? Descendants of original inhabitants or new ethnic group moving in? National Science Foundation funds 4-year project starting 2022 to find answers. The fire itself remains mysterious. Some believe foreign invaders responsible. Others point to evidence of growing inequality in the years before. Corporate organization at the city's base and top. Exclusionary organization in neighborhoods headed by competitive intermediate elite. Manzanilla writes this introduced tensions that set the stage for collapse. The contrast created instability. Around 550 CE it exploded. Ritual objects intentionally smashed to divest them of power, reported Fine Arts. Museums of San Francisco exhibition. Systems of urban and religious maintenance that succeeded for over 400 years fell apart. People left. Regional dominance ended. But was it revolt? Climate disaster? Earthquake? A study in Science Direct published April 2024 identifies evidence of 5 ancient earthquakes at Teotihuacan, dated from 1 to 100 CE through 450 to 550 CE. Megathrust earthquakes from the Middle American Trench, magnitude over 8.5. This doesn't conflict with uprising theories. Natural disasters could trigger internal warfare. Civil unrest. The fire remains dated. The damage pattern clear. The cause? Still debated. We're going deep into archaeological mysteries that most sources skip. Leave a comment with where you're watching from. This research comes from field excavation reports, including the 4-year Hacienda Metepec project, funded by the National Science Foundation and led by Iowa State University, published in their news service September 2022, Seismic Damage Analysis, published in Science Direct's Journal of Archaeological Science. In April 2024, by researchers examining structural damage patterns and fire evidence documented by the Plaza of the Columns complex excavation published through UC Riverside. These are peer-reviewed scientific sources from active digs. Now let's continue. Ismael Arturo Montero Garcia from University of Tepeyac publishes research with National School of Anthropology and History. The Pyramid of the Moon served as Teotihuacan's astronomical orientation axis. Not the Pyramid of the Sun. The Moon Pyramid's vertices align northeast with sunrise during summer solstice, southwest with sunset during winter solstice. On the longest day of the year, June 21st, the sun rises over Cihuingo volcano, used as observatory to calibrate the calendar. Sets behind Mananal Hill to the west. Aaron Gonzalez Benitez at ENH notes the entire city design replicates the Moon Pyramid's solar orientations. Comprehensive urban planning based on astronomical principles, reported by Archaeology News Online Magazine, May 2025. This challenges decades of scholarship focused on the Sun Pyramid. But here's the twist. Research suggests the Sun Pyramid actually aligns with lunar standstills, not solar events. The name Pyramid of the Moon came from the Mexica people who founded Aztec Empire after abandonment. The original Teotihuacan name? Unknown. The builders integrated natural landscape features into cosmic urban planning. Mountains, volcanoes, hills, all serving as celestial markers. But the full system remains incompletely understood. How did they calculate these alignments without modern instruments? How did they maintain precision over centuries of construction? The city was oriented 15.5 degrees east of true north. Intentional. This creates specific solar and stellar alignments. But which stars? Which dates mattered most? We have pieces, solstices confirmed, volcanic observatories mapped, Avenue of the Dead aligned. But the complete astronomical knowledge system the Teotihuacanos used, still being decoded. Archaeoastronomy reveals sophistication. The mystery is depth. Build 3D maps. Noah Sugiyama at UC Riverside analyzes the data. Results published UNESCO Courier, July 2025. The Teotihuacanos didn't just build on the landscape. They rebuilt the landscape. They rerouted the San Juan River, over 3 kilometers, to align with the city's orthogonal grid. Stone-sided canals ran directly under the Avenue of the Dead. The river flowed through the ceremonial heart. But that's just one waterway. They controlled other streams too. LIDAR reveals they redeveloped 372,056 square meters of land to prepare ground for the Plaza of the Columns. Massive terraforming. Sugiyama explains this, shows precise measurements, detecting subtle topographical changes impossible to discern on ground. The river rerouting wasn't for irrigation alone. The city was designed as physical manifestation of creation myth according to Clemency Coggins at Boston University. The Avenue of the Dead, the pyramid placements, the water flowing beneath, all symbolic, all functional, all engineered. But moving a river 3 kilometers through urban center requires hydraulic knowledge, labor organization, generational planning. How many workers? How many years? The canals survive. The rerouted path confirmed by LIDAR mapping. But the full scope of their water management system keeps expanding with each survey. Some scholars, like Zechariah Sitchin, speculate, cited in Ancient Pages June 2020, Teotihuacan was laid out as waterwork, employing water to flood sections. For technological processes. This remains fringe theory, but the scale of water engineering can't be denied. A city that reshaped rivers to match cosmic design. Different neighborhoods showed Maya influence. The Plaza of the Columns excavations by Sugiyama and Veronica Ortega found buildings decorated with Maya murals. Vivid blues and greens rare in Teotihuacan art. Perhaps high-status Maya diplomats lived there. Noble families sent to strengthen alliances, like European nobles at foreign courts. Ortega tells Science magazine they practiced their own customs, speaks to peaceful coexistence. But then between 350 and 400 CE, something changed. The Maya murals were smashed, absolutely obliterated, says Sugiyama in Science publication, faces cut and scratched off until unidentifiable. Intentional destruction. Radiocarbon dating of organic matter covering mural remains dates this between 350 and 400 CE. The same period a massive feast occurred. Animal bones, pottery shards, evidence of ceremony, then destruction. Why? Ortega sees ritual, similar to offering of broken ceramics at feast's end, but Sugiyama points out scratching individual faces is an unusual act of targeted erasure. Maya residents unlikely to embrace this. Nearby pit filled with human skeletons, bodies in pieces, not typical burial or sacrifice pattern. Bone pit could be workshop for making bone tools, or massacre remains. Some skulls show flat backs, pointed tops. Cranial shaping practiced by Maya, but uncommon in Teotihuacan. Teeth with holes for jewelry, Maya adornment style. Dietary isotopes and DNA analysis ongoing. Were these Maya people? Preliminary dating suggests bones dumped during the feast period, when relations appeared peaceful. Contradictory evidence. The multi-ethnic population is clear, the tensions between groups still being untangled. Published Science magazine under article about Teotihuacan Empire. Transport by boat required, multiple 1,000-mile journey. The mica was placed between the pyramid's summit and base, 2 9-square-meter sheets unearthed by Viking Foundation excavations. This wasn't ornamental. Mica today comes as isotherm M, rigid sheets, and isofoil R, flexible foil, used for electrical and thermal insulation, induction furnaces, heating elements, household appliances, condensers. The question published by IsoTech website: what drove the builders to use mica between summit and base and turn the pyramid of Teotihuacan into the largest condenser ever built in the world? That's not archaeological language. That's engineering analysis. The tunnel walls were also coated with powdered magnetite and pyrite, properties that create electromagnetic effects. Radon gas detected in tunnel sections. Workers required protective breathing gear, mercury pools, pyrite spheres, mica insulation, and water channels, all in interconnected chambers beneath pyramids. Some researchers, like those publishing in Ancient Origins, suggest this resembles energy generation systems, not religious sites, but functional facilities. Mainstream archaeology rejects this, but can't explain the material choices. Why transport mica from Brazil? Why line critical chambers? Why coat walls with specific mineral powders? The properties are undeniable. Heat resistance, electrical insulation, fast neutron moderator, nuclear reaction dampener. These are engineering specifications. The builders chose them deliberately, for purposes still unknown. And the mica remains, the specifications remain. The function? Mystery. Excavations at the Feathered Serpent Pyramid. Archaeologists find over 200 human skeletons, buried beneath the structure, hands bound behind backs, some decapitated, dated between 150 and 200 CE. This wasn't normal burial. This was mass sacrifice during pyramid dedication. Saburo Sugiyama and Ruben Cabrera lead excavations at Pyramid of the Moon. They find more. Layered burials, animals, humans, heads removed, buried as offerings during successive pyramid construction stages. Each new layer sanctified with blood. The craftsmanship that built Teotihuacan matched by brutality. But scale surprises researchers. 200 people at one pyramid, more at another. This suggests either massive captured populations or regular practice spanning decades. Who were they? Warriors from conquered cities? Slaves? Volunteers? Analysis ongoing. The bound hands suggest non-voluntary. The precision of burial suggests ritual importance. National Geographic reports, excavators realize awe-inspiring architecture was matched by cultural penchant for brutality and human and animal sacrifice. Inside temples, researchers found buried animals, bodies with heads removed, offerings to gods or sanctification for pyramid layers. Since 2003, Gomez works to access new tunnel parts possibly holding King's tomb. The sacrifice evidence is unambiguous. Published, documented, photographed, skeletons in situ. But motivation remains unclear. Mesoamerican cultures practiced human sacrifice. The scale at Teotihuacan pushes beyond typical. 200 at dedication event, repeated sacrifices at construction stages. This level of bloodletting requires explanation. Religious fervor, political control through terror, belief system demanding appeasement. We have the evidence. The bodies don't lie. The reasons, still debated. And why no royal tombs if sacrifice was this common? Reflecting Aztec creation myths said to occur there, but that's not what the builders called it. Nahuatl scholar Thelma Sullivan interprets it as place of those who have the road of the gods. January 2018. Veronica Ortega at National Institute of Anthropology and History states the city appears to have been named Teotihuacan, city of the sun, not city of the gods. Spanish colonizers changed the name in the 16th century according to new research published Archaeology magazine April 2025. But even this is conjecture. The original name? Lost. The language, potentially Proto-Caracal Nahua, per Hansen and Helmke's October 2025 decipherment. But we don't have the city's founding documents. No dedication texts, no royal proclamations stating this city is called. The Aztecs found ruins, massive, impressive, clearly work of advanced civilization. They assumed gods built it, named it accordingly. But the actual founders? Their ethnicity debated, their language being decoded, their city's name unknown. Some candidates proposed over the years, Nahua, Otomi, Totonac ethnic groups. Others suggest multi-ethnic from the start. Discovery of cultural aspects connected to Maya and Otopomean people supports this. Many different groups lived at Teotihuacan during peak power. Migrants from Oaxaca, Gulf Coast. Even the Aztecs' word Talan, meaning large settlement, got confused. Scholars debated whether Teotihuacan or Tula Hidalgo was the Talan from 16th century chronicles. Now seems Talan is generic term. Any large settlement, not specific name. So we excavate a city that housed up to 200,000 people, dominated Mesoamerica for 6 centuries, influenced cultures from Arizona to Guatemala, And we don't know what they called themselves. We use a name given by people who found it abandoned. 700 years too late. The mystery of the name reflects the mystery of the city, identity lost, waiting in stone. The mercury suggests ritual but requires industrial chemistry, knowledge of ore processing, heat management, vapor collection. The mica implies engineering sophistication but comes from another continent. Trade networks spanning thousands of miles, resource acquisition on continental scale. The spheres glow with purpose unknown. Hundreds of manufactured objects, uniform coding, deliberate placement. The rulers hide or never existed. Century of excavation. No tomb, no palace, no portraits. The writing speaks a language we're just learning to decode. Proto-Coracal Nahua. Rebus principles, double spelling. Systems partially understood. The fire destroyed selectively for reasons still unclear. Systematic burning, sculpture smashing, face scratching, population collapse. The astronomy aligns precisely to systems partially decoded. Solstice markers, volcanic observatories. Lunar standstills, urban grid oriented 15.5 degrees east of north. The river reroutes to match cosmic geometry. 3 kilometers of redirected waterway, stone-lined canals, hydraulic engineering. The neighborhoods hold ethnic tensions frozen in smashed murals and bone pits. Maya compounds destroyed, bodies dismembered. Zapotec communities integrated, multi-ethnic complexity. The mica insulates for functions unidentified. Thermal properties, electrical resistance, nuclear shielding capacity. The sacrifices scale beyond comfortable explanation. 200 bodies at one dedication, repeated offerings, bound hands, removed heads. The name itself is wrong. Aztec designation, Spanish modification, original identity lost. 1.3 million visitors in 2024 per official statistics. Second most visited archaeological site in Mexico. They walk the Avenue of the Dead, 2 kilometers long, 45 meters wide, connecting major monuments. They climb the Pyramid of the Sun, base 222 by 225 meters, height 65 meters, 213 feet tall, one of the largest structures in Mesoamerica. Comparable to Egypt's pyramids, they stand before the feathered serpent's carved fangs. Temple of Quetzalcoatl, third largest pyramid, 6-level step pyramid, hundreds of stone blocks, majestically sculpted, serpent heads, feathered bodies, some of earliest known representations of the feathered serpent deity, later identified with Aztec god Quetzalcoatl, but only 3% of the site is excavated according to Nawa Sugiyama in UCR Magazine Winter 2024. 3%. That means 97% remains buried. Funding constraints limit exploration, political considerations, preservation concerns, technical challenges. The chambers wait, 1,800 years sealed, now opening, slowly, carefully, each bucket of dirt removed manually, documented, 3D scanned, reveals objects that don't fit narratives, challenge assumptions. Each analysis pushes boundaries. Each new technology uncovers patterns invisible before. Isotope testing shows migration, DNA analysis reveals ethnicity, LiDAR penetrates vegetation, robots explore inaccessible spaces. Mercury pools shimmer beneath sealed chambers, protected by stone, guarded by time. The mica insulates floors nobody's walked in 2 millennia. Brazilian import, engineering specification. The pyrite spheres wait in darkness, golden orbs, hundreds, purpose forgotten. The rulers' faces remain uncarved, or never were carved. Collective governance, corporate leadership, 4 houses, ruling committee. The writing begins to whisper, logograms. Phonetic values, proto-language emerging. The fire's ash tells partial stories. 550 CE, systematic, selective, intentional. The stars align through windows measured by unknown instruments. Solstice sunrise, volcanic markers, lunar cycles. The river flows through channels carved by uncertain hands. 3 kilometers rerouted, orthogonal alignment, cosmic grid. The neighborhoods hold bones that speak conflicting truths, peace, and violence. Maya art destroyed, bodies in pits. The engineering suggests purposes we can't name. Water management, energy systems, ritual infrastructure. The sacrifices pile higher than comfort allows. 200. More. Layers. The name itself is placeholder for something forgotten. Lost language, lost identity. Purpose unclear. Spheres documented. Meaning unknown. Rulers absent. Government structure uncertain. Writing being deciphered. Language identified. Fire cause contested. Rebellion, climate, earthquake. Astronomy partially mapped. System incomplete. River engineering proven. Motivation mixed. Ethnic tensions evident. Details complex. Mica function proposed. Not proven. Sacrifice scale confirmed. Reasons debated. Name demonstrably wrong. Original unknown. None fully solved. Progress made. Questions remain. The city called Teotihuacan keeps its secrets close. Carved in stone. Buried in earth. Sealed in tunnels. Waiting for the questions we haven't thought to ask yet. Place where gods were born according to Aztec myth. Place where humans became something else according to Thelma Sullivan's interpretation. Place of those who have the road of the gods. Or place where humans became something we don't understand according to the evidence they left behind. Massive, silent, stubborn, still standing after 1,500 years of abandonment, still defying explanation after a century of scientific excavation. The pyramids endure. The tunnels extend deeper than we've mapped. The chambers hold objects we can't explain. The people who built this disappeared into history, their language finally speaking. Their engineering still functioning, their mysteries multiplying with each discovery. Teotihuacan, whatever they called it, whoever they were, remains.